Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I'm your host, Liz, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Marcus.
Hello.
Happy New Japan Day. What a happy day it is, in fact.
Our first recap of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
New Japan Cup Finals.
And boy, howdy, was it a final.
Yeah. For those who don't know, New Japan Cup is a yearly tournament.
Annual.
An annual tournament where the winner gets a shot at whatever championship they want, but it's more often than not the world title.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with this. I thought this was a really fun episode.
Yeah, I thought it was alright. I like the final a lot.
Yeah.
Everything else before then was, it's like it's the thing with New Japan. Their warm-up matches are, they can be good, but more often than not they're just okay.
I thought they were all really fun, actually. I had a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad you had fun.
Thank you.
So no news. As always with our weekend shows, we just jump right into it. So let's start off with the first match of the New Japan Cup Finals. We had Kosei Fujita, one of the Young Lions, against Bushi.
Indeed we did. And what a match that was. Actually, it really wasn't a bad match at all. I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, is that the matches are usually pretty fun. I mean, whether they're like interesting pair-ups is not quite the question so much. Like, especially because like it's also so much fun with like Kevin Kelly talking. Like, I feel like commentary makes it also quite a deal more fun.
I tune out commentary most of the time, unless it's somebody that really pops out, like Pat McAfee. But sometimes it can be a bad thing, like that one Raw commentator who wasn't on for very long.
Adnan Virk.
Adnan, yeah, he stood out, but like not in the best way. But like the Jimmy Smith, he gets tuned out so quick.
Well, yeah, but I feel like Jimmy Smith is not the same as Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly's like got personality.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly's got some good stuff. Most of the time, I tune out Chris Charlton, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's saying half the time, but like, bless his soul. So Bushi comes out with a fun new mask, or seemingly new. The man has more masks than like I have pieces of clothing at this point, I think. I didn't really understand what the vibe was with this mask. I didn't know if he was going for something, because I know his last one was Venom.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't notice anything.
So Bushi slaps Fuja. He gets him into a headlock. Fuja ends up slinging him off and then super kicks him, lays him out for a nice ground and pound. Gets a few stops in there. They start exchanging elbows, and then we get some open palm strikes to the chest of Fujita. Bushi throws Fujita down into a single leg crab, but Fujita crawls to the rope for the rope break. When Fujita gets back up, he strikes the chest of Bushi with no real reaction whatsoever. Bushi really does not sell it at all. He gets the desired reaction, though, once he hits a dropkick to Bushi. He wants a belly-to-belly suplex. He can't quite get it. Instead, he gets another dropkick, which I thought was an interesting orchestration. I don't know why he went for the second dropkick. It was just something weird that stood out to me, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, so Bushi ends up stomping on Fuja. He wants a suplex, but Fuja rolls Bushi up. We get a drop kick to Kosei, and then a belly to back to Kosei. And eventually Bushi throws Kosei Fujita down into a Boston Crab. He tries to crawl up the rope, but he's dragged back to the center of the mat and inevitably taps.
Yeah. It's young lion matches can be fun because I mean they're talented. Sometimes I just think though, with like somebody like Great Okan wrestling them, they go on for a little bit long. It's like, this is a young lion. You should be able to beat him really easily.
But the point, that's not the point. The point is that eventually these young lions are going to be actual, like, New Japan wrestlers. They shouldn't be made out to be, like, jobbers.
Yeah, but given that New Japan is all about the competition and, like, treating it like it's a sport, somebody as experienced, or somebody very experienced, I'm not saying with Bushi, because Bushi is younger than most, but they should be able to beat...
Great Okan was just recently a young lion.
Right. So maybe not quite Great Okan either, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
they shouldn't be putting on 15-minute, 20-minute classics.
Right. I think that at the end of the day, I mean, like, this match was a perfectly timed match, I thought.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I don't think that this one went on for too long.
No, yeah. I'm not saying that about this one, I'm just saying in general.
I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of, and you said this, we haven't gotten a lot of singles young lion matches in a while.
Yeah.
Recently, it's been, like, a lot of, like, six-man tag with, like, you know, Hana or Nakabe or Tana.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's just the nature of New Japan Cup right now because... Or New Japan Cup recently, like, they've been trying to get everyone on the card, so they have to do all these multi-man matches. Now that there was more card space, they could throw in a singles match.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have a multi-man match. 10-man tag match next. Bad Luck Fale, LP, Taiji Ishimori, Geto, and Chase Owens versus GOD, 6 or 9, and Jado.
Yeah, I include Jado and GOD. I feel like he's part of them.
I don't because it's on Cage Match they don't.
That's fair. I just know that he said that he's like I am part of GOD, and I was like, yeah, you know, you are, buddy.
Yeah.
So we just start off with a beatdown, which is actually kind of the theme for tonight. LP and Ishimori end up whipping both Taguchi and Wado across the way, but Taguchi and Wado end up getting hip attacks off onto Ishimori and LP. Then they double team El Phantasmo. Wado stomps on his throat for a little bit until Phantasmo knocks Wado down. He takes Taguchi off the apron. We get some backbreaking to Wado, and then Fale, everyone kind of interferes, and Fale ends up getting Wado on the ground, hits him with the Tonga massage parlor, which is quite literally just Fale standing on the back of Wado, which I always think is kind of funny. There's a lot of standing on other men in New Japan. I think that's funny. It appeals to me.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get a thrust kick to Chase. This gets Tama Tonga in. He brings Phantasmo down, gets sidelined by Ishimori, but ends up hitting both LP, or he hits El Phantasmo with a Bulldog, and then he hits Ishimori with a DDT. He spears Chase Owens. Geto even comes in. Tama clocks him. Jado gets into, because Tama's like, hey, you want to, like, you know, kind of finish this off. Like, we're basically done here. Jado gets in to exact vengeance on Geto, but Geto gets a stunner off onto Jado. But then Jado ends up clotheslining Geto. Fale comes in. He grabs the throat of Jado. And then Tama and Tonga come in to attack Fale, who tries to chokeslam them, but they end up loading Fale out of the ring. Then Phantasmo gets in. He plonks the eye of Tonga Loa, and Ishimori takes Tama out of the ring. There's an uppercut from Master Wato to Ishimori and El Phantasmo, and then a hip attack from Taguchi to LP. Fale spends some time ringside, kind of breaking the neck of Taguchi. Eventually, though, we get a crossface on Geto from Jado, and it looks like Geto is pretty much on the brink of tapping out, but it looks like he's going into his coat pocket for what you can only imagine are brass knuckles. The referee says, "Oh, no, we're not doing that today." So he takes the jacket away from Geto, and in the moment of distraction where he's removing the jacket from the ring, Chase Owens comes through, breaks up the crossface with a knee to Jado. This distracts I'm fucking going in circles here. And this ends up getting Geto the win over Jado, which I think is kind of the funniest detail of this Bullet Club feud, is that recently the wins have just been like Geto over Jado, or like it's rarely like been other people getting involved. It's like that's how we finish the match. It's two old men.
Yeah, the main event of Hyper Battle will be Geto versus Jado.
As it should be.
Old man fight. Death match.
I want an old man fight.
Death match.
They're also really small.
Yeah.
Like little old men.
So then after that, we have Suzuki Goon, Taichi Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Minoru Suzuki against Chaos, Toriano, Yul, and Tomohiro Ishii. This is mostly to hype up Toriano versus Taichi for the KOPW title.
I thought that was going to happen tonight, honestly.
Part of me, I wanted like more important than matches than the finals. Like maybe we got like a junior heavyweight title match, or like the Never Trios title match, but no, we didn't get any title matches.
Right, and it's weird because it feels like they're setting up for something, but the next thing is Hyper Battle, so I don't know if that's what they're setting up for.
Probably.
I think it is, though, because I think they said that the championship match is going to happen on April 9th, which is Hyper Battle.
Yeah.
I think it's the second day of Hyper Battle, because I think the first day is April 4th.
What?
There is a cat in here somewhere.
Cool.
She's very close. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, okay. I just got screamed at.
Nice.
Anyways, so we start with Tai Chi versus Toriana. After another beatdown, more or less. Tai Chi gets Yano in the corner with a Greco-Roman throat hold. And then Catamara gets in. And it's very weird, actually, for a second, because, like, Tai Chi tags in Catamara, and they just kind of stand and stare at each other for a little bit. And I was like, sort of like beef I didn't realize. Once Catamara gets in, all fears of teammateship being out the window are gone, because Menorah, Catamara, and Tai Chi all kind of get their boots in to stand on the throat of Toriano. This gets Minoru in. Yano tries to elbow his way through Minoru Suzuki with no luck. We get an inverted atomic drop to Minoru. And then we get Ishii versus Minoru, which is another match that they're setting up right now, I believe. I think that's something that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking scary-ass match.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, though, I feel like I heard about that match. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. I feel like I heard about that match for some reason, but I guess not something that's been announced. So I guess maybe I'm going crazy. Anyways, not the point. Minoru gets a rear naked choke onto Ishii, but that gets broken up. He gets it back, but then he gets vertical suplexed. And then we get Yo versus Catamara. There's a boot to Yo after Yo manages to hit the sling blade. Then we get like a crazy like choke suplex to Catamara. All I know is that like the suplex happened, and when it was done, Yo's arm was like here on Catamara, and I was like,
yeah,
oh dear, frightening. Eventually, there's an enziguri and a DDT to Yo. Tai Chi gets in. He goes to run at Yo, but Yano pulls his leg from ringside. And eventually, this leads to some double teaming of Tai Chi and an axe bomber to Yo, and then Tai Chi gets a sumo throw to Yano, and just a big old fucking like sumo takedown to Yo, I believe, to win. And I thought it was interesting the way that the match ended. Honestly, the gloating, more or less, from Tai Chi.
Was Tai Chi gloating?
Yeah, because Toriana was like laying there, like he was laid out, and Tai Chi did the sumo thing.
Yeah, the sumo thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's because Yano started the match doing that.
Yeah, because Yano's been like making jokes of it, and it looks like that's probably going to be what the King of Pro Wrestling match is going to be. It's probably sumo, which that'll be fun.
Yeah, and then also after Suzuki and Ishii continue brawling all the way up to the stage.
Oh my god, yeah. Fucking Catamara is like the first one to just kind of like hustle his ass out, and then Tai Chi leaves, and then you still have these two fucking Goliaths just battling each other nonstop. Oh my god.
So then we kind of get Sho and Yujiro Takahashi versus Taka Michinoku and El Desperado, and immediately Sho leaves the match. According to Kevin Kelly, is because he couldn't get his title shot. But then as Despy and Taka were making their entrance, Sho attacks from behind, and
yeah. I honestly have no clue what fucking happened in this match because I looked away for 5 seconds and it was over. The only thing I know about this match is that I didn't understand what was going on.
Taka got pinned.
Taka tapped out.
Oh yeah, he tapped out.
Yeah.
I thought there was like a DQ because I was like, oh, there's no way it happened that fast. And yet it did. And then after the match, Sho rips off Despy's mask. And then he says to him in like a mocking voice, "Please, sir, let me challenge for this championship." Because he's been like demanding one, but Despy's been saying no. And then he just has to ask.
Yep.
So then, after that, we get United Empire versus Bishamon, Tomoaki Hanma, and Togi Makabe.
Yeah. This was a fun match.
Yeah.
So pretty much where we kind of kick it off is a fucking insane, like, fucking hate the dude, but my god, is he talented. Ospreay goes off the fucking like ropes, like with a fucking flip, but also ends up kicking Makabe in the fucking head at the same time. It was one of those things that happened today where I just kind of sat there and I was like, don't really know how to describe this, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
Eventually, United Empire just take to beating everybody up in the ring. Hinare gets in, punching the absolute lights out of Makabe. And then we get some strikes to the stomach, a leg bar Makabe that he ends up getting to the rope to break the hold. Then Jeff Cobb gets in. He takes down Makabe. He surfs on him for a little bit. It's fun. It's fine. We're having fun. Mind you, something that we did not cover is that Yoshihashi and Goto, their tag name is Bishamon, and Jeff Cobb has decided that it's actually Fisherman. Are you still eating your gelato?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know that you were going to bring it up. I didn't know you were going to bring it in.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeff Cobb decides that they're called fishermen, and he has brought a fisherman's, like a traditional Japanese fisherman's hat with him.
Yeah.
Certainly not the actual kind. It was like a paper one, but still.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff kind of surfs on Makabe for a little bit while Ospreay takes his time to chat with Kevin Kelly. And the match is really kind of devolved at this point. Then we have Great Khan with some Mongolian chops on Makabe, and then a clothesline to Khan. Yoshihashi gets in finally, giving Makabe a well-deserved break. Eventually, he gets a neck breaker after several strikes to Khan. Ospreay interferes, only for Hiroki Goto. Let me try that one again. Haruki Goto to come over. He takes out Ospreay. He takes out Honare. And then he and Yoshihashi get the war drums off onto Jeff Cobb. Yoshihashi hits some chops to Cobb. And then we get some uppercuts to Great Khan from Bishamon. Yoshihashi gets a big boot from Great Khan, and then Jeff Cobb comes in. This thing gets Hanma in. And Hanma and Makabe try to shoulder tackle Cobb with no luck. They end up hitting the double suplex on him, though. And then, again, like it starts devolving. Everybody's in the ring. Ospreay gets hit with a back body drop where he does not tuck his head. He doesn't get, like, the rotation in time. Nearly fucking kills himself. It was, like, one of those things where you could tell, like, he had to, like, move in order to, like, not land on his head. Then Makabe, Hanma, and Goto and Yoshihashi have their individual person in the corner. They like mount them and start punching. Hanma covers on Cobb. United Empire break it up. I shortened United Empire to UE, and my brain keeps saying Undisputed Era. That's who's in this match.
Yep.
So Hanma wants the diving headbutt, but Ostrich, little ostrich man. But Ospreay distracts Hanma. Hanma gets caught by Jeff Cobb as he goes off the ropes, and then gets beaten up by all of United Empire. We get a big slam, but the pin is broken up anyways. Hanma hits a boot to Jeff Cobb and then a clothesline. He, I believe, goes for another like diving sort of headbutt to Cobb. Doesn't really get it. Gets a nice light one though, standing up. But doesn't matter. Jeff Cobb hits a dropkick to Hanma and then gets the Tour of the Islands to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Jeff Cobb and Great Khan confront Bishamon Fisherman after the match, and they lay them out. Jeff Cobb puts the fisherman's hat on Yoshihashi, and Great Khan says, "Look at this sight here. These are your tag team champions. They're holding hands here. Is this the extent of your spirits here? Will these peasants grant Jeff Cobb and Great Khan the championships?" And I'm gonna say, no. I don't think they're winning that.
You don't think so?
No, not at all. Bishamon, have Bishamon defended the titles at all? Maybe against
I don't think so.
I thought they defended them against House of Torture once.
No, they defended the 6-man titles.
Oh yeah, because Yo was with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bishamon's gotta defend at least a couple times. So then we get Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi versus Evil and Dick Togo.
Yeah. So Hiromu attacks Evil right off the bat. Wastes absolutely no time. Unfortunately, I looked away for like 5 seconds again, and then we had Geto strangling Hiromu for a little bit. He tosses him into the corner, but Hiromu dodges. He takes Geto down, gets Shingo in. Shingo, I keep saying Geto, don't I? I mean Dick Togo. God bless
I was
Elizabeth.
gonna
God
say, I thought I heard you say ghetto, and I was like, maybe I just missed something.
Because I wrote Geto on my notes, and then I realized, like, 3 notes in, I was like, oh, fuck me, that's Dick Togo.
Mm-hmm.
Promise, I know the difference, guys. Apparently I don't, but I do. So yeah, Dick Togo strangles Hiromu for a little bit, tosses him into the corner, Hiromu dodges, takes Togo down, gets Shingo in, we get a body slam to Togo, and then a double clothesline to him and Evil. Shingo hits the vertical suplex to Dick Togo, and then Dick plonks the eyes of Shingo and gets Evil in. Evil starts winding the arm of Shingo like a little clock. He sends him into the exposed steel of the corner. But Shingo ends up getting a DDT to Evil. And then a drop kick hits Evil from freshly legal Hiromu. And then, similar to what happened in the Tai Chi... Was it the Tai Chi match? No. Maybe, I don't know. Similar to what happened in an earlier match, Dick Togo pulls the leg of Hiromu as he goes to bounce off the ropes. And Evil hits him with some elbows. Then Dick Togo comes in, and he's got the Garo, and he looks like he's going to use it, and Shingo comes in, he's like, no, and kind of seems like, oh, well, you know, job done. He takes the Garo from Dick Togo, gives it to the ref, but then Evil low blows him. It's like, oh, we're still cheating.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep.
However, Shingo's not legal, so it doesn't really matter. Evil starts stomping on Hiromu. He goes for the magic killer, but Hiromu sends Evil into the corner and manages to, oh fuck, what is the name of Hiromu's finisher?
I have no clue. Isn't it like the time bomb or something?
Oh yeah, I think that's it. Well, he gets that off onto Togo to win the match.
Yeah. And then Takahashi gets in Evil's face and he says, "What do you want to do, Evil? This never belt is wasted on Evil. Maybe I might want to help the champion out. Perhaps I can help the status of the title by challenging for it. No, I'm not going to ask you to challenge for it. I want Evil to challenge Hiromu Takahashi." Who do you think's coming out of that as champion?
Hiromu.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Also, we forgot to kind of note that Despy got unmasked.
No, I noted that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So, then after that we had Tiger Mask, Satoshi Kojima, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kazuchika Okada versus Tatsumi, Fujinami, T-Hawk, El Lindemann, and Shima. Strong Hearts.
Great.
They're great.
So, I'm sorry, is Glate its own, like, promotion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that it had something to do with Noah, because, like, they came around the same time as Noah came around.
No. Glade's its own thing.
Oh. Well, howdy. Yeah, this was a fun match. Fucking... I don't know if we're going to see Glate again anytime soon, but watching them, they're super fun.
I think we will, because I think El Lindemann wants to take on Despy.
Despy wants to take on literally all 3 of them, so I wouldn't be shocked. However, it's important to also note that Fujinami is old as hell.
Mm-hmm.
That is an old man.
Yeah.
He is 68. He's probably gonna be 69 this year, I think.
Could join 6 or 9.
Taguchi would be more than happy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So Fujinami starts off by saying, "I want Okada," and Okada's like, "Well, who am I to fucking say no to a 68-year-old man?" We get a side headlock takedown to Okada. Fujinami puts Okada into a wrist lock and then into the head scissors submission, but Okada breaks out with a little handstand. This ends up getting a Tiger Mask in, this ends up getting Shima in. We get some flying forearms to Shima and a failed elbow drop, and it's rapid fire, we can keep up with each other type shit that, they often do to be like, oh, well, we're well paired, and we drop kick each other at the same time. This doesn't last very long. We get Kojima in versus T-Hawk. There's some hard chops exchanged until Kojima gets the upper hand. He hits the machine gun chops, as he's often known how to do, or often known to do. T-Hawk, however, rudely kind of no-sells them and hits Kojima with machine gun chops of his own until Kojima turns it around, hits T-Hawk with some more, and finally T-Hawk's starting to feel it a little bit. He starts to feel it, he crumples. And then Lindemann comes through illegally kind of to mock Kojima, and they made a good point on commentary. He's a loud little fucker.
Yeah.
Apparently he's also really young, I think. I think they're saying that he wasn't that old. He's maybe... No, Lindemann.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's maybe our age.
He is 27.
Yeah, more or less. All right, so we get a DDT to T-Hawk after Kojima loads Lindemann out. However, T-Hawk gets a vertical suplex off onto Kojima, which is pretty impressive, given the size of Kojima. Then Fujinami gets back in. He gets Shima in, who helps him tear the legs of Kojima away. Then Fujinami gets the single leg crab on Kojima, or Shima does, sorry. Then Lindemann gets in to do the same, tearing the legs, but this time with Shima. And then all of GLEAT get in for, three-way dropkick. This, however, ends in a big suplex to Kojima from Lindemann. But Kojima gets the Koji cutter off, and then Tana gets in to kind of, discipline Lindemann a little bit, kind of shut him the fuck up a little bit. There's a moonsault off the top rope onto Lindemann, and then Lindemann drop kicks Tanahashi. Fujinami gets in. There's a sleeper on Tanahashi into the Dragon Sleeper until Tana kicks his way free, kind of kicks over his head. He hits the Dragon Screw onto Fujinami, and then Okada gets back in. Fujinami gets drop kicked. Okada is going for the Rainmaker, but Fujinami gets the Dragon Screw on... and this is where it gets kind of crazy. Fujinami gets a Dragon Screw off onto Tana. T-Hawk gets in. Okada grabs him up, hits him with an interesting neck breaker kind of thing. It was I didn't quite understand it. It was that thing where you go to jump over somebody in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when Okada grabbed him and tilted him just enough to give the neck breaker over the knee. Then T-Hawk gets some hard strikes in, comes up empty. He lifts Okada up, but Kojima intervenes. He suplexes T-Hawk. Lindemann drop kicks Kojima. Then Tanahashi comes in, hits a Dragon Screw off onto a Lindemann. Shima comes in, kicks Tanahashi. Then Tiger Mask comes in, he kicks Shima. He kicks Fujinami off the apron, then dives out onto them. Eventually, Okada gets the landslide and then the Rainmaker to win the match.
Yeah.
A hectic little ending there.
Yeah, and then Okada says something. He says... Oh, no, never mind. He doesn't say anything. Yeah, that was a really fun match. Especially seeing Okada with the GLEAT guys. Same with Tana.
They're super fun to watch. I do feel a little bit like they're I was telling you, it feels like the Bizarro Seinfeld episode, because I'm I think it's something about T-Hawk that he looks a little bit like one of the guys in that episode. And maybe that's why I feel this way, but it's just something where I'm who are you guys? But they're super fun to watch, and I can't argue that.
So then finally we get Naito Tetsuya Naito versus Zack Saber Jr. Finals to the New Japan Cup 2022.
And what a fucking match this was. Jesus H.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those who don't watch, Naito, Zack comes out, he does his like little walkout, he does his little prancing around the ring. Naito comes out, however, in a button-down shirt, tucked into some pants, like some slacks. Like he's like dressed to the nines. And he gets in the ring, and Zack's being mad annoying, just like chirping. But also Naito is like slowly unbuttoning each button, like as if somebody had put him in like, not even like, I don't know, it's not even slow motion, like it's super slow motion. Eventually Naito's like, okay, yeah, I'm being a dick, and he undresses himself, gets down to his trunks, and immediately Zack shoves Naito into the ropes. There's a clean break though. They start exchanging some arm submission holds, until Zack twists Naito's arm only to get it reversed on him. We get some rapid fire grappling until Naito attempts a roll up, doesn't quite get it. Then we get an arm drag to Zack, and then we get an arm drag to Naito, and then we get a dual arm drag so that they kind of just end up locking arms for a little bit, and they kind of stay there for a while, and then they hold arms, and then they part. But as they part, Naito hits Zack with a kick to the stomach, hits him with the TRS, and then gets a chin lock on Zack. Once Zack gets free, he hits. There's a lot of strikes. He wraps both of Naito's feet around his calves, jumping and dropping the knees into the mat. Then Zack focuses in on this knee because this knee is injured, or was injured by Zack during the G1. It's still apparently like kind of frunkly, if for lack of a better word. And then on top of that, they made a point to say that when Zack faced Tanahashi in the New Japan Cup, however many years ago, I think they said like 2018, Zack lost because he wasn't focusing on the injury that Tanahashi had, because he was like, oh, well, that's already injured. So it was kind of like a nice callback, because like now Zack is like focusing in on this injury. He goes ringside with Naito, starts stomping the knee out there, twisting it. Back in the ring, we get more manipulation of the joint before stomping it again. However, Naito gets a strike to the gut of Zack, only for Zack to kick that knee again. We get really close to orienteering with Napalm Death, but Naito ends up getting free until Zack stomps the knee a little bit more. However, we get an inverted atomic drop and a neck breaker to Zack. Zack kind of claims that it's a low blow to the ref. Like, he's laying on the ground like, ref, low blow. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, sweetheart. It's a valid move. Naito gets a dropkick off onto Zack, and then the combination, where he like sends Zack into the corner and then comes down like almost Meteora-esque in a way, with like the double knees in the corner. Then we get an uppercut to Naito, but a cravat is placed on Zack. Zack does everything to get free, manages it. Naito tries the swinging DDT, but Zack gets free from that as well. Twists the neck of Naito with his feet additionally. Then we get a dropkick to Naito. Naito rolls to ringside. And then Zack does something after getting Naito back in the ring that I can barely explain. Naito was against the ropes. Zack had his legs around the ropes, but also around Naito's head, choking him out, but while pulling the arm, his one arm back over the rope.
It's kind of like a koalaing kind of thing, but not really.
It was like a cobra twist, but like not a cobra twist at all. It was a twist. It was a twist. I'll give him that. It was fucking mean though, dude. It was not pretty.
Yeah.
It was pretty, but it was not pretty. I would not want to be there. Then we get some delightful uppercuts to Naito and a boot. Naito fires back with some elbows to Saber. And then after a while, Zack starts wilting a little bit. He goes up top, We get a top rope hurricane around him, but Zack rolls through with a triangle choke on Naito. Naito tries stacking Zack, but he breaks the pin, kicks the arm of Naito. Naito ends up getting the swinging DDT to Saber Jr., though, and that was kind of the point where I thought maybe this was over. He hits some more elbows. Naito gets the Esperanto. Doesn't really matter. We get some roll-ups for a while, and that's just because that's how Naito's been winning the last few matches in the New Japan Cup. We then end up getting a chokehold on Naito, but Naito gets to the ropes, and that's also how Zack won his match against Shingo, so it was fair enough. Naito gets to the ropes, though. Zack wants the Saber driver, but this leaves him open for the Valencia from Naito. The Saber driver, however, is then countered with a near Destino, but that's countered with a Saber driver. Works out perfectly. Zack then gets some uppercuts to Naito. Naito responds with elbows. There's some more uppercuts to Naito. Then Zack twists the neck of Naito after slamming that knee into the ground again. After several failed roll-ups on Zack, Zack gets a successful PK to Naito and then another one. Naito is then hit with something that he should recognize as his own, which was a swinging DDT. And then eventually after after the swinging DDT, Zack gets one more Saber driver off to win the match, to win the cup. Fucking incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really great match. Wouldn't have picked it for the finals, obviously, because we didn't. We picked Jeff Cobb.
Right.
But it was still a great match. A great story going into it. Love that only one person, Kevin Kelly called this, one person predicted the finals.
Yeah, for the Sport of Pro Wrestling Bracket Challenge, only one person, apparently 5% picked Zack to be in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
One person picked Zack to win.
Yeah.
5% picked him for the finals. 2% picked Naito for the finals. Which, I guess they pulled the wool over our eyes.
Yeah.
But this was a hell of a finals match, I thought.
I agree. So after that, Zack got on the mic and he said, Naito, gracias. The soy boy did it again. I did it with 100% vegan, George Michael approved bloody techers. I'm not just the best technical wrestler in the world. I'm going to be the best wrestler in the whole world. I am the next IWGP heavyweight champion, as you were. He's not going to be the next champion. I hope he isn't. I hope Okada holds on to it.
All right, I agree to disagree, but sure.
You just love Zack so much, you want him to have all the gold.
I would like to see... No, I would like to... He's never held that title. I think that'd be awesome.
Well, he can challenge Okada again when Okada's had a few more defenses. Okada kind of just got it.
I don't mind. I'd love to see it.
So we go backstage, and Zack is with his trophy, and he says, I've been away from home for 2 years because of the pandemic. This time makes it a little bit more. Naito, we must stop doing this, especially in Osaka. It's taken years off my life. Osaka has become our city. Part of me almost feels sad Naito didn't win. But 99.9% of me is over the bloody moon. I blacked out and George Michael was there again. I said, sorry George, am I interrupting you? He said, so you don't need my advice now. He said to use the techers and use the bloody driver. Even though that was fictitious in my concussed brain, I would like to dedicate this victory to George Michael. I'll never forget Adidas, or forgive Adidas. I ordered black and gold boots, and they didn't arrive on time. Champion needs gold boots. He just kept going.
He said that when he's a champion, he'll have gold.
Yeah. Yeah, and Okada and Zack might be probably match of the year.
That's gonna be a fucking incredible match.
Yeah, I mean, both of them already have match of the year contenders this year, so that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and I believe, if I'm not completely mistaken, which I could be, I have been in the past. I believe that match is set for. No, okay, maybe not. I might be wrong. I thought it was set for April 9th, but I think that they just were, the translation was more so our next thing is April 9th.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at their schedule. Hyper Battle starts April 3rd. It's the 3rd, the 4th, the 7th, and the 9th.
Okay, this just says that the live English coverage on April 9th, so we won't get live English coverage for the first 2 episodes, apparently.
First 3. So looking at the schedule for New Japan, the next thing up for them is Lone Star Shootout, which is going to feature Chris Dickinson versus Tomohiro Ishii, Mike Bailey versus Jay White, Suzuki versus Killer Cross, Finn Juice, Daniel Garcia, and Kevin Knight versus Mascara Dorada, Clark Connors, Carl Fredericks, and Yuya Uemura, and Ren Narita versus Rocky Romero. So, that could be fun. Dickinson versus Ishii will be a lot of fun. And Mike Bailey versus Jay White, too.
Yeah, that's going to be super fun.
I'm interested to see Suzuki versus Killer Cross just to know how Killer Cross is wrestling outside of WWE.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But yeah. That's our recap of the finals of the New Japan Cup. Let's go on to the bests of the night. And as always, after the best of the night, we'll be doing our questions, our Q&A, our AMA, our B&A, our TNA.
B&B?
B&B, Airbnb. Come on over, stay a while. Olive Garden. When you're here, your family. If you have a question for us, leave it in the chat and we'll get to it after the bests of the night. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment and we'll get to it in the next one. And if you're listening on Spotify, join us at twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast to talk to us live. All right. You want to do a wrestler of the night?
I would love to. Also, I think it's very important that we know that Zack and Tai Chi decided that they're going to be getting married next year in Kyoto.
Yeah, very important.
In the match comments. So, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's talk about wrestler of the night.
All right, so as always, I'm gonna give you 3 choices. All right, 3. Yeah, 4. 3 choices. 4. Yeah, I'm gonna give you 4 choices. All right, so Tai Chi, Okada, Zack, and Naito.
Zack, there's no chance.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. All right, and I don't think this will be any contest. Match of the night. As always, we'll go from the worst match to the best match of the night, and we'll talk about which one's the match of the night. So, starting off with the worst match of the night with a 2 out of 10. Sho Nujiro Takahashi versus Taka Michinoku and El Desperado. It sucked. It was very short.
Yeah.
Started with an assault with a wrench, and well, the only reason it's not a 1 out of 10, it didn't waste our time. It ended like that.
That's fair.
Unlike Evil and Ishii at Wrestle Kingdom, when it took forever.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, with a 3 out of 10, Bad Luck Fale, El Phantasma, Taiji Ishimori, Geto, and Chase Owens versus God, 6 or 9, and Jado. This was just so chaotic, so overbooked finish. I feel like that's what all these Bullet Club matches are gonna be until we start getting into the singles tag team ones, which might come
I'm
at Hyper
excited to get
Battle.
I'm excited to start seeing the championship challenging scene shape up a little more.
We'll probably get God versus LP and Taiji. Chase Owens and Fale versus 6 or 9. Actually, no. It'll probably be Fale and Chase versus God, and then Taiji and LP will challenge 6 or 9 for the tag titles. I think that makes sense. And then Geto versus Jado. Geto and Jado is gonna be fucking ridiculous.
That's gonna be the main event of Hyper Battle. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
And then Kenta comes back and finally chooses a fucking side.
And challenges both Geto and Jado.
No, that's not the point, Kenta.
Kenta just joins fucking LIJ.
No, Kenta joins 6 or 9.
But they don't have muscular, beefy men. That's what he wants.
Or mustaches.
No, they have mustaches. I think Taguchi has a mustache.
Oh, does he?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, he did say that. I mean, I guess some people might think that Master Watto's beefy.
No. Unfortunately, no. Okay. Let's see. Where's my fucking okay. Next up. 4 out of 10. Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi versus Evil and Dick Togo. It's Evil and Dick Togo. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Although it would be worse had we not, or if we're not in the story of Hiromu taking down House of Torture. Because that's great.
Yeah. I want him to win so badly.
Mm-hmm. Next up, 4 out of 10, United Empire versus Bishamon, Hanma, and Makabe. United Empire is a lot of fun. Bishamon's pretty good. I don't know, I just don't like watching Hanma or Makabe very much.
Hanma just doesn't look like he moves very well.
He doesn't move very well. His moves are very soft. It seems like they all have to go soft on him,
Okay.
But I am very excited for Bishamon versus United Empire for the titles.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick. I just want. It's so funny to me. I'm sorry, Yoshihashi and Haruki. Yoshihashi just looks like he's just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, like Haruki Goto looks like he's like, I've got a purpose. I know what I'm doing. I'm like here to win, here to defend my championships. And Yoshihashi he's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
What else am I doing today?
All right. Next up, another 4 out of 10. Suzuki Goon versus Chaos. I thought it was fine. This was also another very chaotic one, which had a lot of brawling on the outside. But the story of Tai Chi and Toriana is pretty fun. Next up, 5 out of 10. Tiger Mask, Kojima, Tanahashi, and Okada versus Tatsumi Fujinami, T-Hawk, El Lindemann, and Shima. It was fun. It was pretty fun. Yeah. Don't really have any complaints or anything about it. Next up, 5 out of 10. Kosei Fujita versus Bushi. This was a good, realistic Young Lions match because Bushi isn't very experienced, and it gives more reason for it to be longer. It was fun. I hope Bushi gets rid of that t-shirt, though.
I just don't get the t-shirt.
It's definitely just to sell his merch. 100%.
Also, Bushi isn't that young.
He's not?
He's 38.
Yeah, but how long has he been in, actually been a New Japan wrestler, not like a Young Lion?
I don't think he was ever a young lion.
Really?
Yeah. No, he was a 1-year rental transfer from All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay. 1-year rental transfer. It's like a fucking car warranty.
It sounds like what they do in soccer, where they do a transfer because they're I don't they put him out on.
Mm-hmm. All right, so match of the night with an 8 out of 10. Zack Saber Jr. versus Tetsuya Nayato. What?
8.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I thought this was like pretty one-sided. I mean, I also just don't love watching Naito as much as I like watching like Zack and Okada.
In my opinion, Zack could fight a Pomeranian, and I'd probably be like, that's a 7 out of 10 at best.
So you're saying Zack Saber Jr. could fight Nia Jax and you would give it a high rating?
The man's interesting to watch, dude. I'm sorry.
You're saying Zack Saber Jr. could fight Matt
Plus,
Cardona?
imagine the chirps that he would have for Nia Jax.
What about Matt Cardona? You would give
Imagine
that a high
the chirps
rating.
he'd have for Matt Cardona.
But would that make the match interesting?
Yeah, I think that he's a really interesting wrestler, no matter who he wrestles. I mean, he fucking wrestled Fujita, and I was like, this is fun. I'm having fun.
That's another wrestler you don't like. He could fight Reggie, and you would think it's good.
Depends on who's producing the match. If it's a WWE producer, then well.
So it's not every Zack Sabre Jr. match. If it's produced by someone incorrect, you won't like it.
I believe that Zack Sabre Jr. is incredible at wrestling, and I would watch him any day of the week fight anybody.
Okay. So yeah, that's our match of the night. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Naito. I wonder, once he can travel again, I wonder if Zack will want to do like a European or an American tour.
What do you mean once he can travel again?
Because he said he hasn't seen his family in 2 years. I doubt he's been able to travel to wrestle in that time.
Well, I think he hasn't seen his family in 2 years because I'm pretty sure they're in Britain, and Britain's not exactly COVID safe right now, and I think he's trying to avoid
Will Ospreay's
not being able to wrestle.
Will Ospreay's also been to Great Britain.
Well, Ospreay might not care as much.
But what I'm saying is I also said to Europe, because he's stayed in Japan this entire time.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is more so I don't know why he hasn't traveled, but I don't think he can't travel. You know, because I mean, people in New Japan Prime are traveling all the time. I mean, look at Minoru. So I don't know why Zack hasn't been traveling. I don't know if maybe he's just been so dedicated to New Japan itself.
All right. Well, do you want to answer some questions?
I'll answer a question.
All right. I'll save Miriam's question for last and answer Milam's question on YouTube. He asked, wasn't NJPW supposed to be launching an American show? Is that still happening? Did I miss it? That can mean one or two things. Either New Japan Strong, in which case it's on New Japan World, NJPW World. And it's going on. It's been going on for a long time now. Right? Has it been going on for a long time?
Let's see.
And there's also the Access, New Japan on Access TV, which hasn't really been doing new stuff yet. Like they have been doing live stuff.
So New Japan Strong started in 2020.
Oh, did it? Huh.
Yeah. They've had 84 episodes as of yesterday.
Well, if that's what you mean, Milam, then I mean you haven't missed it, but
unless you are talking about the what's happening on Axis, which is that's just started, but that's just New Japan, like cut down episodes of New Japan on network television.
Right. Yeah.
But it's definitely worth watching, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, anything to avoid fucking NJPW World website.
Listen, they've given me hours and hours of entertainment. At what cost, I'm not sure. But to be fair, their app works on this TV. It does not work on the living room TV for some reason.
It somehow works on like a decade-old TV, and not like a
maybe
brand
that's
new
why.
TV.
Maybe it's an old TV and like the app is like antique.
Both are running off of a Fire Stick. So
I don't know.
So Miriam also asks, who do you think will win the title off Okada? If I think Zack Sabre Jr. won't win it, who would you want to win it?
I think it's gonna be Zack, but that's just me.
Well, I don't think it's Okada just because of what he had to do to get the title at Wrestle Kingdom. He had to, in the matter of 2 nights, beat Shingo and Will Ospreay. I think that means he's in for a long reign. As far as who would beat him for it, I mean, I would say Shibata if Shibata was like still doing stuff, because he made that one appearance and hasn't been seen.
Well, he's busy with the LA Dojo.
There's argument for Kota Ibushi.
There is argument for that, for sure. And Kota was close to coming back, but
He was, yeah. Maybe Kenta. I think now that he dropped the US title, it depends on where he lands after recovering from injury. If he lands and like is like top of Bullet Club, then it's him. If he's kind of like near the bottom, like fucking like LP and Ishimori, I don't think it's him.
That's fair.
It's tough to say right now because everyone's kind of got their own shit. I want to say Jeff Cobb. I want Jeff Cobb with that title, but I don't think he'll have it.
I know. You and me both, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that I think it's gonna be Zack. I really do. But maybe now that I've said that, because I didn't think that he was gonna win. Maybe now that I've said that, it's definitely not gonna be him. So. My deepest apologies.
Just kidding. It's gonna be Bryan Danielson.
What?
I wouldn't be shocked. Like if he holds on that title for like at least a year, there's good opportunity for Bryan Danielson to come in, like travel restrictions to lift a bit in Japan. Danielson to come in and get shot right to the top.
There's a chance. There's a chance.
Kenny, I don't think Kenny has the body for New Japan at this point.
Yeah.
Adam Cole could Adam Cole should try to go to New Japan, and I would love to see him there.
Did well the first time around. Why not the second time?
Yeah. Imagine Cesaro in New Japan.
Yeah. Well,
Cesaro could win that title. But my answer is fucking Coda.
okay. I think that's fair. I still think it's Zack, but that's just me.
Yeah, I know you're not changing that.
No, I'm not.
Imagine it's not Zack this time, but like a year from now, he wins it off Okada.
If I have to wait a year, I'm gonna cry, but like that's fine.
Oh. Your favorite wrestler isn't winning a title. Welcome to being a fan of fucking Finn Balor.
You say that like I'm not a fan of Finn Balor.
Yeah, but I don't see you rooting for him so much. Or is it fucking... You've been a fan of Timothy Thatcher for a while, and he's like never won a title. At least like a large TV one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
You want to hurt my feelings a little more or something?
Should have won the North American title in NXT. I think he would have done well with that.
Yeah, maybe. But unfortunately, here we are now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, that's all the questions we got. Would you like to close out the show?
Sure. If you tuned in tonight, thank you so much. And if you tune in the future, we'll be back on Wednesday talking about Dynamite, probably, most likely.
No, we'll be back on Tuesday.
We'll be back on Tuesday, probably, most likely. Yeah, actually, we will be. Don't worry about it, guys. But we'll be back on Tuesday for WWE 2K22, the first week of matches.
Yeah.
The first of many.
First episode of our Battle of the Brands.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, Wednesday will be our Dynamite post show. Thursday will be Impact, and then we'll be doing Wrestle fucking Mania next weekend. We'll be doing a post show for day 1 and then day 2, Saturday and Sunday. It's gonna be a lot, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Whether or not WrestleMania is good or bad, it'll be fun. So we got a big week of wrestling coming up. Please join us for all of it. All of our social medias are the Pinfall Podcast. That's YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, and Twitch. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23, and we'll see you all on Tuesday for Battle of the Brands 2K22. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you then.